Welcome to Carpe Diem, a podcast about personal finance and everyday life. I'm Dusty Simmons.
And I'm Jamie Davidson from Financial Center First Credit Union. Thanks for spending your free time listening to us talk about how life and family affects us achieving our financial goals.
So, Jamie, they say you're never really ready to have children, and one day it just kind of happens, right?
Yeah, kind of just happens.
But people really aren't prepared for the sleepless nights. And, for those of you out there who don't have kids, that's not a joke, right?
Right. Yeah, I always think of young people that, go out and have a good time. And they talk about how tired they are the next day. My joke's always like, this is just getting ready for you to have kids. You don't know what tired is yet.
That's right. The diapers and food messes and worrying about every fall or hiccup and wanting to make sure your baby's safe, those things never change.
Yeah, that's right. But something else that people are never really prepared for is really how much it costs to have a baby.
I know kids are expensive. Babies are especially expensive.
Oh my God. I think of all the money I've spent on babies. Oh, Lord have mercy. I think that's what we're going to talk about today, right?
Yeah, we're going to talk about, baby, how having a baby can impact your wallet.
Oh, and it will. Trust me, it will.
Yes. And then for eternity.
Well, I think we already talked about another one, right? Cutting the strings.
Cutting the strings. That was, it was the podcast.
I think we did it in reverse, didn't we? We should have started with this one. So, Dusty, you're a mom, right?
I am a mom.
So what were some unexpected expenses for you when it came to have a baby? Anything that surprised you?
I think we did a pretty good job of kind of planning out all the things we were going to buy for the baby. But I think once the baby was born, just the sheer cost of like diapers and formula just really shocked me. That hit our monthly budget really hard. How about you?
For me, it was even before that. And we're going to talk a lot about those today. I mean, we just started first with we're going to talk about it, obviously, but the maternity clothes, I'm like, what do you mean? We got to go to the maternity store. What is this? And obviously, it's like, how do these look on me?
It's like a rite of passage.
It's like, it's funny because women,
yes,
when they have their first baby, they're so excited to go to the maternity store.
Oh, yeah. And then the second time.
They're so excited to let people, they're showing. Yeah. Second time, third time, they're like exact opposite. They try to make it not, as long as they can without maternity clothes. So
maternity clothes, that was it for you.
Well, that wasn't it, but that was it. That was the first one. And then all of a sudden we've got to create this whole new room with all this. Oh my God. So yeah, we're going to talk about all those things today. I tell you what, young people out there and old people out there, if you haven't had a baby yet and you're thinking about it, it's
this
a great
podcast
thing.
was for you.
It's for you. It's a great thing, but kids are expensive.
This message comes from Capital One. With the Spark Cash Plus card from Capital One, you earn unlimited 2% cash back on every purchase and get big purchasing power so your business can spend more and earn more. Stephen, Brandon, and Bruno, the business owners of SandCloud, reinvested their 2% cash back to help build the company's retail presence. Capital One, what's in your wallet? Find out more at CapitalOne.com/SparkCashPlus. Terms apply.
All right, so we're just talking today about the cost of babies, not the cost of children. But so we're going to look at the facts here when it comes to just having a baby. So
facts are good.
Facts are always good. According to thebump.com, you spend about $8,300 just for baby gear in the first year alone.
It's a lot of money.
And I think that's a lot
of scotch and cigars, man. Yeah. I tell you, if I was spending on, that'd be a good year.
Exactly. What else do we got from a stats standpoint?
Thebump.com also says that the 1 year of childcare, its average cost is about $9,000.
Wow. That's a lot. That's more than maybe your mortgage payment is for the year.
That's just $17,000. We just added up right there for that. So
you got $17,000 sitting around somewhere?
Yeah.
Just waiting to be spent?
Yeah. When you're ready to have a baby, you better have it ready.
So today we're keeping it real, and we're going to talk about 5 things to prepare you financially before you have the baby.
Yeah, that's very important. It's and really children are wonderful. I have 3, you have 2. And I wouldn't do anything different. Obviously, I have all 3 of them. I love them dearly. And it's funny, though, because when my wife came to me and said she was ready to have a baby, and my eyes went wide open like, what are you talking about?
Why disrupt this really great thing?
Yeah. And for me, it was 2 things. It really was. Number 1, it was, oh, my gosh, we're having so much fun. Why would we disrupt the fun we're having? And number 2 was,
it's going to cost a lot.
This is going to be expensive.
Right.
But I had no idea how expensive it was going to be until after we got started. And oh, my goodness. So number 1 we're going to talk about today is
Get your baby gear.
Yeah, you have to get that gear.
I mean, you got to have it.
Oh, yeah.
Got to have a lot of it.
You got to have a lot of it. Every single thing. It's amazing to me the things people have to go out and buy for their child before they're born even. And obviously, when it's your first child, you're really excited. And, you've got this whole idea that it's got to be perfect, right? It's got to
be new. It's got to be the latest, cutest thing.
So, yeah, you'll come home one day, guys, and, you're having a baby. Next thing you know, on the weekend, instead of watching football, you're working on a nursery. Right? And so with the nursery, what do you have to have in a nursery there?
Well, you got to have crib and furniture and, the playpen and the swing and the...
Yeah, and don't forget, you got to beautify it first, too, though. Don't forget, you got to paint it and make it perfect. You got the little thing that goes above the crib that they're going to look at and going to go to sleep, right?
Mobile?
Yeah, they never go to sleep looking at that. Don't waste your money on it.
Mine did. They loved that thing.
Yeah. Well, mine never went to sleep looking at anything like that. So everything we bought for them to go to sleep was a waste of money. So, yeah.
Okay. So the biggest lesson to learn here with that is it doesn't all have to be new.
It really doesn't. And that's really hard to tell, parents.
A first-time parent.
Yeah, because they want everything perfect for their firstborn child. And I get that. But really, guys, you'll save a lot of money if you don't buy everything new.
Well, I think you don't realize how little amount of time you're actually going to use those things. And then if you were like me, you went to try to sell them later when you were done with them and you get nothing for them. So,
well, there's a store you go to take the baby stuff to, and the amount of money they give you for it, and it's laughable. So you almost get to the point like, well, I'm just going to give it away.
Right. But the fact that you don't really use it all that long, you don't really wear it out. So you can get some really good used stuff that looks brand new.
So what I recommend you do when it comes to these sorts of things, there's some great places you can go purchase those things. Marketplace is a great place to go.
Facebook Marketplace?
If you have friends that had babies and they're done, go to them. Always find a friend that already had babies and make sure you buddy up with them. And, hopefully they buy the really nice stuff and that way it gets handed down to you. And that way you're going to save some money doing that. And there really is nothing wrong with hand-me-downs. And what you'll find out is if you have more than one child, then hand-me-down city's where it's at, right?
Right.
But we've got neighbors and they have 5 children. And I think they've had 4 boys, and I think every boy's worn the firstborn's clothes eventually. And I don't mean that in a bad way. it's expensive.
Right.
Exactly. Even now today with my 8-year-old son, I buy him a pair of cleats for football and he wears them for 6 weeks
season.
and then I've got to go and buy that. So it's the same. It's even more with a baby because they grow out of things so quickly.
Right. Yeah. Okay, so 2, maternity clothes, and I guess you've kind of already hit on this, but I'm not sure that I agree with you on this one. As a woman, when fashion comes and goes, secondhand maternity clothes, I'm not sure.
You're pregnant. Guys aren't really
Go
looking.
ahead. Hang yourself.
I just got to look from both
right
of them.
here.
Hanging myself. Well, I'm trying to get the hate listens up, get the hate listens up on social media. Totally joking. I'm totally joking. No, when you're pregnant, you're a beautiful thing. And I get it. But I also think, if you do go buy the maternity clothes news, you're going to find it's pretty expensive.
Yeah, it is.
They're not cheap and they're not easy to find when you do go to those places. And you're going to go, wow, I had to spend $80 on these pair of jeans and I'm going to wear them. And once again, how the baby grows quickly when you have the baby? Well, the same thing's happening when you're pregnant with the baby. Those jeans may not last you the whole time. Yeah. So it depends on how much you're eating, right?
So I think that the 2 things I learned buying maternity clothes was keep them for the second or third baby, right? And hopefully they're still somewhat in style. If you're going to go buy new, keep them. And then also I had a lot of girlfriends that we passed maternity clothes back and forth as we were all pregnant. Like that was nice because you felt like you were getting new stuff. And it was nice stuff because we all probably bought it new, but you were sharing.
Right. So yeah, don't be afraid to use secondhand tonight.
Mm-hmm. And I had a friend who loved wearing her husband's stuff while she was pregnant. She wore a lot of like button-down shirts and that kind of thing. And
hey, I'm all for saving $1. If you want to wear my clothes, go for it. My daughter's still on my clothes all the time now. So, but when it comes time for me to have something to wear, right? All right. Number 3. Now, number 3, we put 2 things together. One, I'm sort of understanding. The second one, I'm not really up on these things, so I'm going to put myself out there. And Cece's over here giving me that stare down. She hates it when I do this, but I've got to go off script every now and then. One is, it's baby showers. Baby showers can be very expensive, right? Especially if you're going to the baby shower.
Yeah.
But in this, she also has gender reveals.
Which is a new thing.
Oh, my Lord.
It's a new thing. But here's the deal. If you're having a party in order to get baby gear, awesome. But don't spend more money on throwing the party than you're going to get in stuff back. That's my thing. Right?
It's like having, it's like a wedding, right? Make sure you're getting a more expensive gift than what you're paying for the dinner.
Yeah, and I have seen some really cool baby showers and gender reveals, but I mean the intent there is to celebrate and to get some gifts yourself. So don't go over the top.
Yeah, and let's talk about another part of it. It's not only it can be expensive, but it's also stressful.
It is.
I mean, it really gets stressful for the mother that's, carrying your baby. And remember, it doesn't have to be perfect, because I got bad news for you. When your little bundle comes out, perfect's done. Perfect's done.
Yeah.
It's all a dream. So yeah, just if you're going to do the showers, you're going to do the gender reveals, try to keep it so it's reasonably costly. As a matter of fact, I would actually sit down and probably make a budget before you did this.
Yeah.
Because some people get out of control and it can cost you. Some people spend $1,000 on something.
Did you
like
have
this.
a baby shower theme?
Oh,
we had a joint men and women baby shower. It was luau.
No, we didn't do the joint. No.
He's laughing at me.
No, my buddy Sal came by, and Sal and I dropped their wives off at where the party was and said,
"See ya.
We're going to the Ale. See you later." And so came back, put all the stuff in the back of the car, and went home.
There you go. That's the way to do it.
So,
okay, ultrasounds, lab works, and checkups. Boy, I mean, I don't think you really, especially in today's age with healthcare costs so high, you do not really know how much you're going to spend on prenatal baby care until you're in that situation. Because, you can look at the standards, but if you have any health complications whatsoever, they're going to do more ultrasounds, more lab work, and more doctor visits as you go. So
yeah, they're always going to err on the side of caution.
Sure.
And like you said, healthcare costs have gone up so much that I think back to when we had our first one, I think we just had a deductible and it took care of everything.
Right. That's not the case anymore.
It's not the case anymore. And my wife was gestational diabetic with all three. So obviously, the further we went down the road, and the last child we had was 8 years ago, healthcare got to the point where it was more expensive. It was not like it was with the first two children. It was much more expensive. And it's really important that you're, yes, you've got to get those things done, but be aware of those costs.
Well, and again, like we talk about with any medical bills, if you're going to need to make payments on those, make sure you're coordinating with your doctor's office or the hospital or whoever's doing the lab work that you're going to make payments. You're not going to pay those things off all at once.
Right. And if you have an HSA, make sure you're saving up for those as well. That's very important. That's what it's there for.
Damaging your credit score by not paying bills that you need to at least be making progress towards.
Correct.
Yeah.
And number 5, this one came up, and we're thinking about this in a way that it's not your typical 2-parent family and something's happened to the father, make a will. Make sure you have a will in case something should happen in childcare or in childbirth, where you've set up designation. Because imagine that the father has passed away before, and now you've passed away in childbirth. The other thing is not only the will, but also the discussion. If you are in a relationship and it gets to the point where it's either you or the child, and the father has to make that decision. That's not an easy decision to make, especially when you have to share that decision with her parents, what you're going to do. So make sure you're having that discussion.
It's a morbid discussion, but it's certainly something you should have before the baby comes, right?
Right. And 99.9% of us, it's not going to affect us. But it's just something to discuss. It really is important. And I'm really glad that Courtney put this one on the list, because I wouldn't have thought about that, but we've seen it happen before. And those types of things are costly if they get sent to court, but think about how costly they are as far as the relationships are concerned.
Right.
So make sure you're having that discussion and you're doing those things, because it's not always about money, especially when it comes to your children and your spouse. It's not always about the money. It's about doing the right thing for everybody to get along. And,
when we talked about the cost of a will, it's not really that expensive it's some time that you're going to have to spend talking through and these things, but it's, probably $500 or less to get a basic will done. Yeah. So take the time to do it. If not before the baby, after the baby. Right. I confess, I'm one of those parents who, my kids are 14 and 10 and I don't have a will. So that's shame on me, right?
Shame. I know. So Dusty, to summarize, we had 5 points, right? Number 1 is?
Yep. 5 things you should do financially before you have the baby. And that's get your baby gear, but at a reasonable cost. Get your maternity clothes, but at a reasonable cost. Think about what you're going to spend on your baby shower and gender reveal. Make sure you're budgeting for your healthcare costs and make a will.
So now the baby's born, your bundle of joy is here, and you've now gone a couple of weeks without any sleep. And I laugh every time I see newborn parents and they look like they've been ran through the ringer. And I'm just going, because you know what? I could have told them, but they wouldn't have listened. Right. So that's just how it worked. So we came up with 7 things to prepare for now that you have the children and the cost, right? And we're just talking really the first year of the child. We're not talking we're not talking the next 18 or 21 or 23 years, or those of you that haven't cut the cord at 33. We're talking about that
year one.
Year one.
Here's
so
the
this
cost.
is the ones. Okay. So number 1 we're going to talk about is, Dusty,
baby delivery costs.
Delivery costs, yes.
And this is really hard to estimate because it could be all over the board.
Right. Because if you have complications, right?
Well, at-home birth going to cost differently with a midwife than it is to go to the hospital with your doctor.
Yeah, and we don't like to go and ask for those prices, but they do have those out there. Now, I will tell you this with us, it can get very expensive.
Yeah,
we tried to labor, and first one was emergency C-section. Luckily, we had really good insurance, and so we just had to pay the deductible, right? By the third time, once again, another C-section, but Finn ended up in the NICU for 10 days. So the cost for that is astronomical. If we had paid the amount, luckily the insurance picked up the majority of it, but our cost from the first child to the third child that we had to cover went up.
Yeah. So, on average, a regular delivery, that's assuming no complications, $12,000. This is in the state of Indiana. And that's in-network provider. And then probably another $2,200 of out-of-pocket expenses. So, you're looking at $15,000 just to go in, have the baby, and come home.
I think in using the third one, our healthcare costs for both, because of what our deductible was, ended up being $5,000. Mm-hmm. So we hit deductible, very early on, but that's still $5,000. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of money.
Now, the one thing that our employer provides is hospital indemnity insurance. And so it's kind of a good way, if you're having a baby in the next year, buy that insurance policy. And that gives you like $1,000 a day or whatever the policy is. Ours is, I think, $1,000 a day for so many days. So use advantages like that where you can find and be smart about saving on your hospital
Have
costs.
The conversation at work beforehand. And you really hate to think this way about everything in life, but really about having a baby, there's got to be some planning in it. And this is, if not, it's going to cost you some money.
Right.
And it's very important that you do your due diligence, so to speak.
Exactly.
Number 2.
Who's working and who isn't working?
Yeah, it really comes down to who has the best maternity/paternity leave. There's a lot of companies out there now that are doing a really good job of actually paying for whichever partner works for that company. So make sure you look into that. Don't just assume that mom's going to stay home and dad's going to go back to work, because that's not always the case for everybody. It's who gets the best maternity leave. Obviously, there's FMLA out there. So if you're planning on having a baby, start saving those sick days for when it's time to stay home, because somebody will need to stay home at least for the first, usually 6 weeks.
Right. Yep.
All right. Number 3, the big one, Dusty.
Oh, man. Diapers and formula.
Diapers and formula. You have no idea how many diapers you're going to go through.
10 a day, 12 a day. I don't remember.
A dozen at least. Yeah. I love the people. And, I by no means am I picking at you if you're one of these people. If you did this is a great thing. All the power to you.
Please don't say cloth diapers.
All the people that say they're going to do the cloth diaper thing.
They're so gross.
We're going to save the environment. We're going to do the cloth diaper thing.
Oh, yeah, that's a thing.
Courtney just asked if that was a thing. Yes, it's a thing. Yeah, I've never seen.
And those things are expensive.
Oh, they're very, and the service is expensive because they have services. And everybody thinks that's a great idea till your house smells pretty bad until they pick up the next load of them. So, and remember, you got to rinse those out in the toilet with your hands. So, that being said, plastic diapers, regular diapers are expensive. So are cloth diapers. So whichever way you're going, you're going to spend a lot of money on poop.
You're right.
You never thought of it that way, but you're going to spend a lot of money cleaning up the poop.
And I will say diapers is one thing where I never cut costs, because I never we always use and I'm going to plug them, Pampers Swaddlers, because they were great. And they were the more expensive diapers, but you got to find what works for you. And hopefully you can find a less expensive one that your kid doesn't poop out the back of, but
she said it too.
Crap happens.
So, it's funny that you say that, though, because in all honesty, we realized, because we have 2 girls and a boy, that some diapers were better with girls than boys.
Really?
And we used the same ones for the girls, and those didn't work with the boys. So we had to switch brands.
Gotcha.
But it's, you think, we can, we'll buy the generic. And if they work for you, that's a great idea. But sometimes it doesn't work. And trust me, when you're cleaning up plenty of messes outside the diaper, you go, I'll spend the extra money on the brand names. Yeah. And now, the other one is everybody says, hey, I'm going to nurse. We're going to nurse. Well, sometimes that works out really well. Sometimes it doesn't.
Right.
We had one daughter that, couldn't
do that.
Yeah, right. Because she had an allergy, so we had to get soy formula. Mm-hmm. So not only do we have to get formula, but we had to get soy formula, which is more expensive. Now,
what I learned was going to the big box stores, Sam's Club, Costco, whatever, those were the best places to get the best value for both diapers and formula. And we would go and drop a couple $100, but they have rewards, and so find the best thing that works for you. But what did we look at? The average cost of diapers and formula is how much a month?
Combined a year.
A year.
right under $3,000.
That's a lot of money.
$2,800.
Wow.
So you're looking at
That's a
about
vacation right
about
there.
$1,000 on diapers and about $1,800 on formula.
That's crazy.
So think about that. You got to put that into your you've got to put that into your little budget right there. Make sure that's a lot of dining out and a lot of Starbucks you might have to skip out on, right?
Sure is.
Number 4 is
childcare costs. This was another shocker. I think when we were pregnant, going, how much is it going to cost? Because we're 2 working parents to send this kid to daycare, not college.
You send them to college when they're born? I've met your kids are pretty smart, but I don't know if you're going to send them to college their first year they're born.
But I think, the average cost is about $9,000 a year, which is a lot. But here's the thing to consider. There are lots of options when it comes to daycare. And it's something that you should have the conversation about, because you might have a family member who could watch them and save you some money.
Shout out to my mother-in-law. She helped watch all 3 of mine.
My mom, same thing.
She's a saint for doing it.
Yeah. You can find an in-home provider, which is probably going to be less expensive than going to a business that offers childcare. In the first year, childcare is the most expensive because they're the most needy. I think we went to like a business the first year, and I say we probably dropped $1,000 a month in childcare, which was ridiculous. It was more than our mortgage.
Right. Well, it's for us. My wife actually went down to part-time.
Mm-hmm, there you go. And now there's that option.
And
Part-time
I was
or
a
stay at
teacher,
home.
so basically during the summers I was home, which helped out with the cost. And like I said, my mother-in-law actually helped and contributed a lot, which, the really great thing about that is, though, the kids have a really good relationship with their grandmother and their grandfather because of that. And I think a lot of times we're scared to ask that question. But remember this, too. If you do have your parents help you, remember they're helping you. It's not something they have to do. So, hey, if you're a grandparent, you don't want to watch your grandkids, you say nope, I'm not doing it. Say they can come over for, one night a week and I'll get them all hopped up on candy, but they're not staying all week.
Right. All right. Number 5, life insurance. Now,
life insurance.
Tell me what you mean by life insurance. Is this life insurance for us or the kids?
Well, hopefully you already have life insurance for you.
Well, but you up it when your kids are born.
Exactly. So it's actually both, really. When you talk about life insurance, though, let's focus first on the child.
Okay.
Once we have a child, we want to get a life insurance policy on them.
The younger, the better.
The younger, the better.
Because it's cheaper.
It's cheaper that way, yes. And you're not buying a life insurance policy on your child because you want to collect on it.
Right.
God forbid, nobody wants to have that happen in their life. Nobody wants their child to pass before them. But what we do know is this. In the state of Indiana, especially, the cost of having a funeral is very expensive. Imagine losing your child, going through that grief, and then having to find the money to pay for that funeral. We're talking the funeral costs are over $10,000 on average in the state of Indiana alone. So you want to have that there just for peace of mind. Right. Now, what I did, mine's 20, 18, and 8. I bought them whole life policies. They cost me like $13 a month. They're getting cash value out of that.
They have the annuity piece to it.
They have the annuity piece. It's not a lot of money.
Yep.
But, when they're in their 23 or 24, I'll just hand it to them and they can do what they want with it. If they want the cash, they can, or they can keep paying the $12 a month.
My dad did that for me. And so now I have a $50,000 whole life that, has a cash value, but I just continued it because at that price, you can't get insurance that cheap.
And so as a parent, you're doing it for your peace of mind. You're not doing it because, but there are many out there that don't. And then that does happen. And it's a very expensive, and you've got to remember, you're going through a lot of, the grief period that you're going through, and then you've got to find the money to pay for this. It can't help. The second part, like you said, was as parents.
Yeah, changing your life insurance policies on yourself because of your kids.
Right. Yeah. When we've talked about life insurance in the past, remember, it's one of those things. It's all about, it depends where you are. When I'm single, I just needed a small policy to pay for my burial, right?
Right.
So I wouldn't be a burden. Once I got married, I need a little bit more to help, my spouse or I,
the house or the car or whatever when you die.
And now you've got children that will be around being cared for the next 18 years at the minimum. That's a lot. That's a huge income to make up for depending on when you would pass away. So yes, you always need to make sure you're upping your life insurance. So you want to up it when you go from 1 kid to 2 kids to 3 kids. And not only that, but as you're earning more money, more income.
Yeah. Well, and the thing with life insurance that I've learned too, and talking with an agent, is they're always going to sell you as much as you want, right? So you got to really look at what's the most coverage I can get for the budget that I can afford, and you need to stay at that level. I mean, I hate to say it, but we don't all have unlimited
salesmen
income.
Would never do that.
Oh, really?
Never. They're looking out for the welfare of your children.
And the more money you can leave your children, the better. That's all got a cost to it. So you got to work it into the budget.
Got a lot of friends in insurance. Just joking, guys. Number 6.
You need to put your kid on your healthcare plan. Yeah. So you're going to go from, individual and spouse to family, right?
Mm-hmm. And
that's a big jump.
It's a jump, right? It's a jump from single to...
Because they don't care whether you have one kid
married,
or 4 kids.
Yeah. And that's what's really important, because a lot of times, and I can tell you in our household, my wife has her health insurance policy, I have mine, and then we decided which one the children were going to be on based on which coverage was better and which was more cost effective.
Yep.
So my wife actually carries the children on her health care, and I am single on mine at our employer.
Yeah.
So you make sure you look at those little things, because that can make a huge difference. When you're young, when they talk about, we've got these benefits, really, the older you get and the more children and things you're doing, those benefits do play a huge part in your decision that you made with that employer, hopefully.
And number 7, think about starting a 529 plan. I made the joke about, my kids are going to go to college, but I mean, college is a cost that in 18 years your kids are going to realize.
Yep. So, I mean, you can make a 529, you can go online, right?
Right. In the state of Indiana, it's collegechoicedirect.com, where you can set up your own 529 plan.
Right. And just start putting in a little bit at a time, and you're going to see that it's going to grow and it's going to be there for when they do go to college. And, I made that mistake. We didn't do it with the oldest.
Yeah. And, compound interest, time is on your side.
That's right.
So the earlier you can start putting away a little bit, the better off you're going to be when they turn 18.
So let's recap our 7 reasons. Number 1, the baby delivery cost, all of that prenatal care before and birth. Mm-hmm. Number 2, who's working and who's staying home.
Number 3, diapers and formula.
Yeah, the big one there, the big expensive one. Number 4,
childcare costs.
Number 5 is, I believe, was in a life insurance.
Mm-hmm. Number 6, related to that, health insurance and getting your kid on your plan.
And last but not least is make sure you're making that 529 plan.
Yeah.
Now, we were discussing this a little bit earlier about, we're talking about these when it comes to your child. And Dusty wanted to talk a little bit more about.
Yeah, I mean, not traditional families are great, but that's not where we all are in our lives right now. So there's a lot of single mothers out there having kids without dads in the picture. So Jamie, what's your best advice if you're doing this on your own, or you're doing this with someone who's maybe not married to you?
I think you still have to have the discussion with whoever is in your life. And if the person who is the father, you have to have that discussion with them too, because you don't know what their thoughts are. And you need to make those decisions together if you can. So it's really a tough one, because what we see a lot of times is single mothers end up bearing the burden of all these costs.
Right.
And I think this is a discussion that you need to have, at the beginning of the pregnancy and throughout.
Well, and honestly, if you're not married, there are some legal obligations that the father has. If that's something you can't come to an agreement on just on your own, you can take legal action. So
yeah, there's a lot of single mothers that are in poverty because this discussion doesn't take place.
Right.
And don't be afraid to have the discussion. Hey, and if you're the father probably wants to be a part of this life too. So the discussion needs to take place for both people for the right reasons. And remember, it's for the child's best sake.
Yeah. And I hope that what you're hearing out of all of this that we're talking today is don't have kids. They're too expensive, because that is absolutely not what we're saying. We're saying
no, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying don't have kids.
They're
too expensive.
And after year 1, they just get more expensive. But no, I mean, kids are wonderful. You just have to budget for them just like you do any other major life event.
Right. Exactly. And you're going to have to decide in the budget what's going to stay and what's going to go. And once you have the children, there's other things to consider.
Yeah.
It used to be, hey, we're going to go out. We're going to go on vacation together. We're going to, how many times we got to dinner a week is going to be, that budget's going to have to change. Either that, you're going to have more income coming in.
Right.
Which what we really see people making the bad decision is they don't change their behaviors.
Yeah.
And they start living on their credit cards.
Oh, yeah.
So this discussion really needs to take place to keep that happy life, right?
And at the end of the day, what your child's going to love and value most about you is the time that you spent with them and the memories you make to help them grow into the person they are going to become. It's not necessarily that $1,000 stroller you bought them or the, brand new clothes that they got every 3 months.
I see people out there that are using strollers that are $500, and I don't understand it. I mean, I got by with the stroller we had, and I think we probably paid too much for it.
Right.
I think the one thing that a lot of people are probably hesitant of getting secondhand, I agree with this, is, this is the car seats for the most part, but everything else, man, the stroller is a stroller. I guess if you're a marathon runner and you need the jogging one because you're going to go out and be a marathon runner, then go for it. But I'm going to tell you, we weren't marathon runners, and the one we got was just fine.
Just fine. Yeah. So Jamie, for those out there who are going, man, I am getting ready to have a baby, or we're wanting to have a baby, and I need help because I don't know what to do financially. What can people do?
First thing you need to do is go out and really appreciate that sleep you're having right now.
Exactly.
Take advantage of those naps, because those naps
Take your naps
now, because they're few and far between. But also remember this: if you need help budgeting for that little one and you don't really know what to do, you need help with your finances, come see us. Visit fcfcu.com/financial education and set up a free consultation. We'll sit down and try to help you as best we can with the budget, or maybe sit down and do a 529, whatever you need.
There you go. Carpe Dime. It's presented by Financial Center First Credit Union. It's produced by The Beatboxing, Jamie Davidson, Dusty Simmons, and Courtney Cooper. Financial Center is a 6-time national award winner in the category of adult financial literacy, and our goal is to help you improve your financial lives.
Yes.
To learn more, visit fcfcu.com. And if you like what you hear, subscribe from Google, iTunes, SoundCloud, on Spotify, and now on the All Indiana Podcast Network.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
Yep.
Have a great day.